Shaka Dyson, the Chatterbox Show. I don't know what I don't remember what the Chatterbox Show was specifically.
Shaka, is it just training? Is that what's missing?
Well, I mean, you have a lot of different aspects. You mentioned a comment that I made previously where I had 65 F&I managers that reported to me in 34 stores across 5 states. And 65 F&I managers is a lot of people. I can only imagine multiplying the job that F&I managers do 65 times 500 salespeople. I mean, I got 65 F&I managers now. I expect 500 salespeople across an entire automotive group to do the same thing as profitably as the F&I department does it. I think it's just it's really not realistic. You have many different issues. You have a compliance issue. You have a profitability issue. You have, salespeople have a hard enough job selling their cars. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to dump an entirely different dynamic to their situation and expect them to not only meet the goals that each auto group has for an F&I department, but to also exceed that. I just don't agree. And my position will be this. It will be, I'm not from the training side. I just recently got into the training side. I am from the trenches. I am from the retail side. So everything that I say about this comes from being inside that office, inside that dealership every single day and knowing what they go through. And I just cannot see it happening times 500 or 200 or 1,000 sales employees. I can't see it.
And as you could see, that was one of...
That was midway.
That was midway. Yeah, that was when I had I only eaten half of cribs at that point. Yeah, that was I'd only ingested half. You know what I love about Shaka is every time he's on the show, I always want to give him more time, and I think sometimes he's limited or we're limited by the time we have available. But he's talking about the elimination of the box and instead of he's like I've been responsible for 60, 70 F&I managers in my time, and I've had. I can't imagine having to get 500 salespeople within a dealer group on the same page, and I don't know how contentious a topic that is throughout the business, but I do know it's happening, and I know I talked to a dealer a couple weeks ago that had I don't know if we consider that is that cradle to grave. Is that cradle to grave? We're talking about from literally from the beginning process to the end of the process. Is that I don't know if that's how we want to consider it, but
no, he was talking. They were discussing more of like one person doing.
That's
everything.
What I'm talking about.
No, cradle to grave is more BDC talk. What Shaka was doing on that show, obviously, he was debating the concept of eliminating the box and having one person doing the
yeah. No. While I was getting at, I talked to a dealer a couple weeks ago for one of the guys in the room, and that was their model as well. And I mean, he only had like 3 guys doing it. It was a smaller store, but I think that's such a contentious topic, and I know it comes up so often. And he handles it as good as anybody. I think I for just the entertainment value, he's worth tuning in. But I mean, how widespread do you see that happening in the business across the board? Is it?
Well, we've been talking about the box going away for 25 years.
Okay, so it ain't going nowhere.
So no, it's not going anywhere. At least anytime real soon.
Right.
There are those business models that you're right do the one person, one transaction, and that has its place. But when you're talking about the car business overall, absolutely not. It's not something that's at our doorsteps. However, I love also Shaka. My goodness, the passion that he brings to every show. He lives, eats, and breathes finance and how to help dealers grow it.
Yeah, you don't for one second believe that cat's, not 100% bought into what he believes, and that's one of the reasons I love him.